Okay. So I've just taken this template from the template center just for today's demo, but you can, I mean, of course, any forms, you will see this improvements because it's already live. All the improvements are already done. So I'm going to go back and forth between my slides and Monday. So first one is drag single select and multi-select options. Okay, so let's go into edit mode and see what feature upgradation we have. Okay, so as all of you know, this is the single select option, right? So before this, you weren't able to, let me edit, go into edit mode. Oops. I was using my another login, so okay, here you go. Okay, so this is our single select option, right? So before this, you weren't able to drag and drop, but now I can do that. So before this, actually, if we want to change something, then let's say we made a mistake in the order, right? So we weren't able to do that, but now you can drag and drop like this. This is true for multi-select as well as single select. So this is single select, meaning the status column, and multi-select is a drop-down column, right? So it's true for both. Then going back, also you can hide these options, meaning, so all of you must have known that you can, there was ability to show the question and hide the question. Yeah. So for example, the status column, request status. So this is something somebody will submit the form, and this is the status column, which we will be using it for our processes, right? So then of course it will be always hidden on this form, because we don't want users to know this, right? Because they are not going to fill up this status column, we are going to fill up. But now let's say that you want to hide some options, right? Let's say so use case can be like you had that options before, and now no longer that option, like you don't need to have the low options, but of course you want it to be there because later on you may want to enable it, right? So right now you can just hide it. So if you hide it, then of course the person won't be able to see when he's filling up the form. Let's check that. I'm into priority. So now I've hidden the low, so low option, so it's not showing it. Yeah. So that's good. I will come to this one in a minute. Let's go through this one. Show single select and multi-select options is a classic drop-down or horizontal checklist. Okay. So this one. So basically, this is single select options, right? And then now you see the question is shown in a vertical way. So basically, because that, okay, I'll go here. So this is a drop down, right? But let's say I want the single select, but I don't want to drop down. I want it just to show all the options horizontally. It's just a look and feel, right? Or it's a UI. It's basically a user experience, right? So because so when you're filling up the form, right, you are not seeing anything, and the person has to click there, and then you can see all. So you can change. Earlier it was not possible, but now you can. So show options horizontally. Okay. And now I may have to just refresh this. So you see now. So this is a different times, like maybe for priority, we need that drop down, but maybe just for the small details like sometimes you want them to see the fields, and then it becomes easier to just click here, right? Of course, it takes 1 millisecond to click the drop down and select, but it's just a user experience. Okay. So Monday has taken that into consideration and brought that here. Monday is very good in tracking the feedback from the clients, from the users. It's very important, and that's, if you see, and if you have been Monday users for a while, you must have noticed that Monday started at what level, and now it's has upgraded itself so much. And all this is happening because they are tracking the request client, which is because they have like a great great team to manage those feature requests, and in very organized way. They also have that feature where they have that whole community forum where you can submit an idea, and then you can actually see how many people have the same idea, because they just categorize. Somebody like a human being sits there and categorize all those requests into one block, and then they address each request. So let's say I have submitted one idea and I want to see how many people are how many people require the same idea, right? So they have done that. So it becomes for them also to know how important is this feature request, and that's how they are managing everything. So it's really notable that the way they have developed Monday.com. And thanks to people like you who are submitting those feature requests and using Monday religiously. So thank you for that. Okay, so going back to my edit board. Now another one was, so horizontally, then also there is checklist, right? So checklist format. So let's see. So you can do either drop down, horizontal, or a checklist, or vertical. Okay. So this is horizontal. Okay, so either horizontal, vertical, or a drop down. Okay, depending on your requirement. Okay, now I will, so that was that. And then, okay, now I will go to the person column here. So when Monday form started, Monday form was not supporting this person column. Okay, but now, just let me go to the edit mode. So basically, I'll give you the background. Okay, so going back to my board. So this is the project request form, and then you have the initiator, which is a person column we have used. So before this, like when Monday started, the Monday form would not be able to support this, was not supporting this person column at all. Meaning we had to have, and I think I had this webinar, this particular case study for my training, where I want to know who has submitted the request. So person has to actually, I have to have a separate field, which is your name, whoever is selecting. But as you know, Monday is more than just collecting that username, right? Because I will have the username as a text. Okay. But then I'm not able to do anything with this text, because let's say I just mentioned requester. Okay. Requester name. Okay. But I'm not able to, like, I have this information, but Monday is much more than that. Because if this this requester, this project request and approval, it's an internal form, right? So project requester is definitely a part of your organization. And whenever this request gets approved, you want them, ideally, you approve something. Of course, you let the other person know that, hey, your project has been approved. But then because this was like a text, I cannot just inform that person, because that job is done by the person column. because we have automation that whenever status changes to approved, notify this initiator, right? So that becomes easy. But then the form was not supporting a person column. So what I had to do, I had to have the automation that, hey, when my form is submitted, or when when item is created, if requester name is so and so, then assign. And then imagine if someone joining new, then of course I have to add that automation in the background, right? Those many people in the organization, I had to have 10 people in the organization, I will have to have 10 automations for that. So in recently Monday launched this person column. The form can now support the person column, and that, I think it's been a year, Monday did that internal purposes, if you have the person, like whoever is submitting, they are your part of your organization. Means let's say I have Amin who's submitting this form, and Amin has a license in my Monday account, then definitely, because then this becomes the internal form, right? So then definitely form can support the person column, and that's what it's, you see. Now I'll go into edit mode and you will see this one. So you see restrict the form. So Monday form, so now this type of question can be supported, but then your form will be restricted to the internal user. So the moment I do this, basically it will be, so only the internal users can use the form, but then that works because this process is my internal process. So the moment I do that, so okay, so I have now you see the only account members are able to access this, if they will be able to see. So now I'm going to show this question. Okay, so and this was done a year before, but now Monday has gone one step ahead and done some more feature requests. I will be coming to that in a few minutes. So now I, as a initiator, like I don't have to write my username, like username. I will just, if I'm submitting this form, I'll just select my name, and then that's it. The question, this thing will be submitted. Form will be submitted. When the status changes, automatically I will be notified through Monday. Very easy. But then, so this feature was highly requested features, and everybody a year ago they did this, and everybody was so happy. But then some clients were like, hey, but this is still only for the internal purposes, meaning Shweta Shah has to have the license in my account. What about the outside? What about the guest? What about those clients who are submitting this form? Because they are guest on our account, and they will be able to should be able to still use the person column. So then just recently, actually Monday launched this. They did they had to do okay, so I'm going back to the, so now I'm going back. So in order to enable that feature where you have a person column, you want to use it in the form, and you don't want to restrict it to the internal organizational, you want to share it with people, because the form is the one, it doesn't need the license. The form can be accessed by anyone. Form is just a link, copy from link, and when you paste it here, anybody can submit this form. You don't need to have the Monday license for this, because, and then when we were adding this, some of the organization, they were like, okay, so then this form is, so they wanted to have both, right? So this form is now restricted to our organizational purposes, but we don't want that because some people don't have licenses, right? So then what they did is, I'm going back to Monday, sorry for the back and forth. But this particular condition has to be enabled by admin. Okay, so that's why you will find it in admin, and it's in the customization, and it's a feature request, right? So it's in the features. So admin has to, by default, it's disabled. Okay, so enable your public account forms to use questions with your account data. So allow users to add people and connect board questions. Also, there's another another use case, it can be connect board questions, right? User information and items. So basically your forms, you can have that you can have a person column shown to outside people also, though even if they don't have license in your account. So let me show you how it's done. I will also add connect board questions, okay, just to show you all. Okay, so now I have enabled. Let me see. Okay, going back to my form. It's a good idea to have another form because now I've already enabled that request, right? So let me see if I find another form. Let's check this one, okay? Edit form. Okay, looks like in this one also it's enabled. Okay, let me create a new form that's easier. Okay, so I created a new form. Now I'm just adding that. So this is the option. I'm just adding a person column, okay? Okay. So now, because I actually enabled that feature, right? So now this form will no longer require, because earlier, you know how that pop-up was coming, like restrict this to only the internal. So now because I edited that in the background, even the outsider will be like, this form is not now um, organizational restricted. Like we have removed that restriction so that you don't have to, like, person column, anybody outside your organization can also, like, they no longer have to log in, because the internal forms, right, this one over here, that has a requirement because this is an internal column, so they had to log into their monday.com and fill up the form. But now because I have enabled that ability from the admin, so you don't have to log into your account and fill up that form. Okay, so that becomes easier. So any guest to your account, any vendors, right, they can also fill up the form. Also the connection column, because the connection column is like a it's like a internal data, right? So this dependency over here, it's a connection column. And then before this, the form was not supporting this connection column. Oh, not dependency, sorry. This is the, let's see, the connection column. Let me add one. Adding it to, okay. Okay, so now this becomes a connection column to some other board, right? But the form was definitely not supporting this column. So now if I have a form, and I'm going to edit it. So now because I have enabled that, fresh tab. Okay, maybe some thing with my login, but let's see. I'm not sure. Single project one. So I'm just trying to show you how the connection column can be also seen as a drop down. And I did that recently with my one of my client, where they had the requirement to actually see what's connected in the another board, so that the people can actually select it. Okay, let me put something here. Yeah, make sure we have some data. Okay, and I'm trying to see if I'm able to see it here. No, looks like there's some glitch. You see this one, WorkForm connected board column. So you need to activate this first. And this can be done by non-admin people too. So I'm going to activate, okay? Because I activated it, it's automatically refreshing. Okay. Okay, so now you see my connection column is also, I'm just going to show it on the here question. Now let's look at the form, okay? Okay, so this is the form. So I already showed you how to enable the people condition so that external organizational people, external client doesn't have to log into form. But now I'm also showing you, it's not on my slide here, but I'm also showing you how to have the connection column. Okay, so yeah. So now I did that. Let's assume that on my board there is a connection column connecting to another board. So I'm filling up a form, but I need to see I need to connect it to my, because this is a single project. So basically, of course, this is just a use case. Maybe maybe I can take a meaningful use case next time and come up with this meaningful workflow. But I wanted to show you that how you can have the connected column also, so that I'm filling up some information related to task one. And when I submit it, this will be, okay, now main board, I have this information coming up. Okay, so there's some data here, and I have, and earlier this column was not visible on the form. So let's say there is a requirement to use the form, but then there is a connection column, so you cannot do anything about it. But Monday has solved that too. Only thing is that you have to enable that request from the admin, where it's customization features. And so there's a disclaimer, because then allow users to add people and connect board question in the public form. The user information item board name may be accessible to external people with the access of such form. So of course Monday has to inform you, because it's simple, right? Because then the external user can see this, like task one. Of course they can see only the name of the task and name of the whatever is in the item name, they can see that. But if you have such requirement, then definitely you can use that feature.